So I don't know about you guys, but I know for me personally, as a creative professional, oftentimes I will find myself in, that creative rut, the thing that we all hate when you're just feeling uninspired, lack of motivation, you just feel kind of empty for a little bit. This is certainly something that just happens as a creative person. It's going to be one of those things that you can't really avoid. You'll be kind of cruising up that like nice creative high, and then you kind of hit that valley where you're just bummed and you're like, I don't know what to make next. I don't know what to do. How do I find inspiration? I'm not going to pretend like I have the complete solution for that, because that's just something that is just, I find myself in that situation quite a bit. Sometimes I'll go on a run, I'll go surfing, I will go exploring, I will hang out with friends and step away from the computer. Those things certainly work, but I find that recently what's been working for me to stay motivated, to stay inspired, is to continually follow new creatives that just have a different approach, or they have different techniques, new ways of making things that you kind of just go, dang, like, who is this person? Like, how are they doing? And like everything they put out is amazing, So I used to be afraid of that feeling where you kind of feel like you're insecure about your own creativity because there's so many awesome people out there. But honestly, it's what fuels me to make better shit, And I wanted to share 5 of my favorite branding/illustration artists that to me are at the top of their game. They are just creating awesome content every single day and have gotten me out of creative ruts in the past. And hopefully they can inspire you. Maybe they'll give you a different perspective on the way that you're going about your work, or maybe it'll just kind of jog some new idea. So let's get into it. So the first graphic designer/illustrator I want to share with you is Damian Orellana. He is a illustrator and designer out of, seems like Rhode Island, New York, and Connecticut. So I got his dribble up right here. There's this cool little avatar, this awesome custom illustration he made. And already you can kind of see like his style is very unique, with this like kind of thicker stroked outlines here. He's kind of like tapering them off in certain areas. I kind of like this little like backstripe of this tiger like this. But this guy is got some amazing work. I mean, just kind of look at this. Like, he does a lot of branding marks. This is awesome. Look at the simplicity, but still like intricacy of it, This looks like a custom illustration that he made with some nice font pairings. Let's just kind of go down. Like, he's got these awesome badges that are very like monochromatic. These are just like, I want these stickers like on my laptop or something, right? I love the use of like, he's like filling in certain areas to create a little bit of like shadowing. He's got these cool pins. Look at this. Which graphic designer wouldn't want this? I want this. I want to put this on my jacket right here. But I really love his use of color and just the vibrancy of all of his illustrations here. They really pop and kind of make you feel a certain way, like I guess this is going back to what I'm saying, like getting that creative inspiration. Like, this makes me feel happy, and it feels like I want to go out and make something colorful, But he did this series of portraits of his family that are really cool. Like, check this out. He's using like a nice kind of subtle texture within certain shapes to kind of create a little bit more depth and just, I don't know, a cool look. He's even doing lighter values in the shadows. I never would have thought of doing that. So like, that's a little technique that you can try to pick up and maybe use it on one of your projects, But I just love this series. It's, he's creating this kind of visual system for how he's creating these portraits. They all look like they're part of the same family, well, because they are, but they all have the visual kind of elements that kind of match. Like, just he's using the same kind of stroke with these little like rounded caps. His eyes are all very similar. It's looking at this sort of work makes you kind of think about the work you're doing, and are you being consistent in certain areas about how you're illustrating, Looks like he actually printed these out and made a collection. This is like a series. See, that's awesome. Like, imagine having that like done for your family. You could have a whole collection in your house just like this. It's so slick. There's that little tiger guy again that we saw on the top. But even the way he like creates his dribble shots, like he's piecing these badges all together on one artboard and kind of showing the breadth of the exploration he did for this brand. Just little details like this. I just love the way that it's laid out. It makes it feel like it's a leave behind card that you could take with you. Like, imagine this being like an actual printed business card or something like that. It's just so fun to look at. Like, you wouldn't want to throw this away if you found it on a desk somewhere. I love these little pink animals. Again, these could be pins, like you could have a whole collection of pins of these different animals. And here's his Instagram. Make sure you give him a follow. I know he's got a shop on his website here, so go support him. He's got some incredible work. You're not going to be disappointed. This is just one of those designers slash illustrators to look out for in the future here. All right, we have another graphic designer and illustrator named Alex Barnes. He's a freelance graphic designer, looks like out of Dana Point, California, so not too far from San Diego. So I think I found Alex just on Instagram, just kind of randomly looking through different accounts, and I saw some of his like Vissla work, and I love Vissla. They're a great wetsuit company, and they have a lot of great apparel. I think this is like a Vissla jacket that I'm wearing, but I love his style. It's very like surf inspired. Like, look at this, is like a t-shirt design he did. Really enjoying this kind of like hand-drawn illustration style with this cool font pairing. It's very like retro vintagey. Really cool use of color here. I think this is what, like 3 colors. I started in like t-shirt design when I was early in my career, so I really have a love and appreciation for screen print style. Even these colors, these are rad. I love how many different styles are within his page here, but they all still feel like his style, if that makes sense. Like he's got sort of this kind of like scribbly type, but it feels very like intentional. See, I want that shirt. I need it. This is interesting. See, like that's a neat effect that I probably wouldn't have thought of myself. Like this kind of like, it's almost like a psychedelic kind of like I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me when I look at it. Love this little badge right here. Look at that. You can see sort of like a shine on this toucan. But yeah, he's got a lot of crazy cool badges, and just like, look at these wacky illustrations, man. Like, I love this little sun guy. He's so cool. But it looks like a lot of these designs are, he's like sketching out himself and then kind of vectoring like an illustrator or something like that. Looks like he did some designs for Rourke too, another cool company. I love the use of like just combining all these different fonts. You know, you kind of have this scripty font, you have this kind of uppercase sans serif, but you could tell that it was like drawn, like he like drew over a font or made his own, and just, I don't know, there's something cool about it. So yeah, I'm really impressed with Alex's use of illustration, and he's got a good grasp on color as well. So definitely somebody to follow. This is his Dribble account. He's got a lot of the same work from his Instagram, but yeah, I'm a big fan of his work here. So the next designer here is Alexandra Necula. She is a branding and packaging designer out of Transylvania, Romania. So I just pulled up Alexandra's Instagram account here, and already you can see there's a lot of beautiful colors happening. A little bit more airier. You got these like kind of pinks and creamy beige, and just a lot of refreshing, elegant colors here. Love this. Moujane Lusso. See, look at this little illustration that overlays this. It's kind of like a gold foil treatment. Rude lips. Okay. This looks like some sort of like lip balm. I love how she's animating this like shadow on top. That's a really cool treatment. Caligy. Kind of like abstract shapes here. Okay, so she has like a range of style within this more, I would say like more of like a feminine look. This is cool. Naked underwear. So she's doing a lot of cool stuff with like color and contrast and illustration textures, but still she has a really good eye for logo marks too. Like I think she has some of her logo marks here. Look at how sophisticated a lot of these look. They're very minimal. I love when designers do this, when they put like all of their logo marks onto one page, just so you can see the breadth of style that they have. So this is really cool. See, she's playing around with a lot of overlapping design elements on top of imagery and textures. It's just a great composition because you've got this kind of like darker blue and these like yellow, what are those, like lemons? They're kind of like the focal point as well as this image. But then you have a nice subtle texture in the background and this framing that kind of just draws your eye right in. So I really love this treatment. Ooh, look at these awesome badges right here. These are some really cool colors, and just, these are cool little like sticker treatments. You know, you could just like imagine, kind of like we're going back to Damian. Like I want to put those on my laptop just to show them off because they're so minimal, but there's a lot of thought put into them, you know? Speaking of which, looks like Damian liked this post too. Look at how sophisticated this one looks. This is great. This looks like it was actually shot in a studio, like they kind of set this up. Love this gold foil. So it looks like Alexandra loves using this gold foil, which is really elevates the packaging, I think. So she's really excellent at branding and packaging, but it seems to be like she also has a really good sense of layout and typography and just how to position elements on a page to make you go, wow, you know, like I love this layout. So she's also got a website, alexandranecula.com. I hope I'm saying it right. Maybe it's not Necula, maybe it's Necula. I'm not really sure, but she's got a really awesome portfolio here. I mean, look at this work. It's just, look at this. I didn't even see this one. Nar Coffee. See, love this illustration here. It's kind of textured, and there's a lot of cool different windows of illustration here going on. This is clean. This is super clean, and I love the way that she's presenting this work here. Very bold colors. So make sure you give her a follow on Instagram and check out her website. So the next designer I have here is Nicola Broderick, and she's out of San Francisco and looks like a branding and illustration designer. So I'm on Nicola's Instagram here, and you can see already she's got a really cool style. This very like kind of retro, vintage, groovy style. Like look at this gaslight Joshua tree. This is sweet. She's using the negative space of the sky to kind of house that logo. Oh, it looks like an Airbnb. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to stay there. This looks like a Jack's filling station. I like this monochromatic kind of roughed out style of this image. Jack's filling. So what is Jack's filling station? Let's take a look real quick. Oh, it's a gas station record store. That's cool. They sell bottles and stuff. So that's awesome. I love this old-timey look with this cool little illustration of the hand right there. Kind of makes it like a fun little, there's a nice little contrast happening with this. This one is actually something that I bought and had here in San Diego from, I think it was Bottlecraft I got it. It's a little margarita in a can. So it's got the tequila and the actual like agave and lime juice in there. And so you just kind of like pop it open and drink it. And I love, like, look at this illustration. It's very, there's a lot of detail in this little cantina she drew here, with this beautiful typography kind of encapsulating all of it. So that's one of those cans you just don't want to throw away. You want to kind of keep it around as a nice little kind of like desk ornament, you know? And you know I love me some badges. Look at these badges right here. So these are for Golden Rule Spirits, and I guess it goes on like a hat, but I would put that right on my jacket here, you know? So she does like cocktails and beer design really well. I can really appreciate this style right here. Again, this is another one of those examples of just kind of putting a lot of your explorations on one panel just to show the breadth of styles that you have for that one particular brand, you know? Like even this Yeehaw, that could be something that goes on a shirt. This could go on like the front little panel of a shirt right here. These are all elements that you can deliver to your client that they can be equipped with to express the brand in different ways among different kind of mediums. So here we are on her website, and look at this logo. That's awesome. She's got a really clean aesthetic here. I like when websites like portfolios are a little bit more like toned back when it comes to the actual website design. That way the actual work kind of pops off the page more. So she's not doing, oh, this is a sweet font. Look at this. She's got some merch here, it looks like. Let's click into one of these case studies. Gravity Heights is actually in San Diego. I haven't been there, but I've heard of it. Looks like she did the branding and packaging for this place. So she's got all her projects here laid out really nicely. I love how she's not using the same sort of format for every single thumbnail. She'll do different kind of variations, like maybe just the logo or a nice close crop of the actual packaging, some photography. It keeps my eyes wanting to keep scrolling and seeing more. So it's not, I know some people will do like all logos and then click in, but this just feels a little bit more dynamic to me. So make sure you give Nicola a follow. She's got some awesome work, and definitely one of those designers that really inspires me. So the next designer is Mike Nelson, who's got a branding and design studio out of Solana Beach. So I've got Mike's Instagram pulled up here, and he's got some amazing packaging and branding work that I've seen around San Diego quite a bit. This is some packaging he did for Storyhouse Spirits. I believe they were like a distillery here in downtown San Diego, and I just really enjoy this owl illustration. I mean, look at this packaging. Who wouldn't want to buy that? Really cool style here for this Mosaic IPA by Culture Brewing. Culture's got some great beer. But look at the use of like this illustration kind of overlapping this kind of red color bar. And then you've got the sun as the Culture logo here. Very, very cool design here. Looks like they're canning. He says, love when canning day comes around, seeing those shiny printed vessels get filled with beer. Yeah, like when you get to see your design printed on something, it's just ultimately like the best feeling you could ever experience. Digging this coffee cup right here, Cedros Avenue, Solana Beach. See, that's a fun, just kind of groovy, like surf-inspired illustration here. I need to get me one of those. He's also got the badges down here. Look at this. Bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout. See, like I want that on the back of his shirt. This one is incredible. Look at this. He's got this kind of branding mark on top on this like kind of matte gray or black with looks like a map of San Diego behind it. So he's using that map as sort of like a subtle texture in the background. It might even be like spot varnished or something like that. I love this little like wrap around the bottom to kind of give you a little bit more information about the story about Storyhouse. Look at this. See, that's such an awesome mark right here. He created a really cool look and feel for this, and it's definitely, it stands out to me. This is a sweet little bear here. Okay, so this looks like the logo for LEL Cycling. I'm really digging this kind of stroked, kind of groovy line artwork here, where it's, you've got kind of like rigid elements, but you also have a little bit of a smooth kind of organic feeling. So it's kind of combining two distinct styles into one, and it just works. It works really well. Superfood drink. So I love how like he's using this kind of background, kind of organic shape, but then it's also kind of subtly just kind of peering into this little container right here. So it kind of gives it that dynamic depth that for some reason just feels very ownable and interesting to look at. You know, I would want to pick this off the shelf in a grocery store. So he's created this system with this sort of green, teal, yellow, orangey kind of color. But then for another flavor like Super Berry, he's using the same layout but changing the colors. So that's a really nice way to kind of create this visual system that you know, feels like a family, feels like a branded experience here. And on the bottom of the bag, he's creating these fun little moments with kind of branded little sayings. So this one says "Get Minted," "Bottoms Up." You know, it's just, who would have thought to look under the bottom of the bag and put a little moment like that? That's just super creative for superfood. He did some branding for Carlsbad by the Sea Hotel. See, this is great. I want to stay there. It's really got like a nice, minimal, sophisticated look. So not only is he creating a really like beautiful visual direction, he's actually creating these fun little moments for the customer or whoever is going to be staying at this particular hotel. So again, another top tier creative that lives here in San Diego that is constantly putting out amazing work, and you know, I'm always inspired by seeing the new projects that he comes out with. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 branding and illustration designers that I'm truly inspired by every day, and I look forward to every time they post and kind of seeing their new work. It really just inspires me to keep moving forward and perfect my craft, or try to perfect my craft. But I think next time I'll probably feature maybe more UI UX designers. If that's something that might interest you guys, let me know. Until then, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon.